Hello, meteor watchers. I'm here with my friend Bob King, aka AstroBob, and
Hi.
we are here live on August 7th to tell you how to get the most out of summertime's favorite meteor shower, the Perseid meteor shower in 2025. Hey, Bob.
Hey, good to see you, Debbie. And I'm just like you. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Perseids this year, hoping for clear weather as always. So,
Well, this would be a super exciting weekend for meteor watching. And again, we're here live on August the 7th. So this upcoming weekend would be the big weekend for meteor watching if it weren't for the
uh-oh.
moon.
Yes, we do have a moon out. That happens every couple of years. It lines up so that a bright moon is present when the meteor shower's out, and the moon tends to wash out many of the fainter meteors in the Perseid shower.
It does. And, we were, Marcy Curran and I at EarthSky read on the American Meteor Society site that the number would be cut down to only 25% of what it would have been otherwise. Is that the same number that you've read also, 25%?
I've seen it vary across the years. I'm more optimistic. I usually cut it in half or maybe 40%. But it's an interesting filter because the moon will clearly get rid of the fainter meteors, right? And it will only leave the bright ones. And talk about a positive spin. That's my positive spin of the Perseids. So it's the cream of the crop for us during this meteor shower, but at a reduced number, yes.
Right. But Bob and I are here to tell you how to get the most out of this meteor shower, even though there's going to be a bright moon in the sky, in the morning sky, which of course the hours between late night and dawn are best for meteor watching, and that's certainly true of the Perseids. But before we tell you that, we're going to tell you something else.
Yes.
We're going to tell you about an exciting possibility.
Yes, there's an exciting thing potentially happening. You never know with these forecasts, but there's a region of sunspots there. You see it in the picture 4168. It cranked out. It's been cranking out several flares. It put one out on August 5th that propelled a mass called a coronal mass ejection in Earth's direction. Plus, there's some other effects piling on top of that will bring us to potential of seeing the northern lights in the northern third of the U.S. on the evening of August the 7th. The peak time, at least according to the forecast right now, is between 10 p.m. Central and 1 a.m. Central. And it will be a G2 or moderate storm. If you live in the northern part of the U.S., it'll cover half the sky and less if you're further south.
So do you know, Bob, how far down in the U.S. people will be able to see this?
It's really hard to say. It depends. The storms are a bit unpredictable, but if it is a G2, certainly you'd be able to see it maybe down to, in my neck of the woods, down to the Iowa border as a glow in the northern horizon, like a little arc. And then further north, you'll be able to see it actually climb higher in the sky.
So I'm probably out of luck down here in Texas.
I think you might, I hate to say it, but you might be out of luck on this one. But as we know, the sun is always full of surprises. And so who knows, Debbie, it's possible.
It is. Honestly, I have not seen the aurora in decades because I'm never in a place where it is.
Yeah, I would wither away and perish if that was my situation. I sort of I love the northern lights.
Now I feel bad.
I need the northern lights for my life. I feel like something's missing if I don't get to see them.
Okay. Well, okay. So, but we're here to talk about meteors.
Yes.
And we have 6 tips for you on how to watch the Perseid meteor shower in 2025. So here is number 1.
Number 1, go out in the country. This is true anytime, really, but you've got a bright moon, right? And that's already going to take away some numbers. So you want the darkest sky you can get away from big cities. So if possible, head out to the country, and that will improve your chances of seeing more meteors.
Right. And so, what do you mean by out in the country, Bob? Like, what does that mean? Is like, how far into the country do you have to go?
That is a great question. It really depends upon your city. If you're in Chicago, you may have to drive 80 miles, to get out in the country. If you're in a moderate-sized city, getting out in the country means 20, 25 miles north of town, just to where the light pollution is calmed, so that it's lessened. And you can use a special map online. It's called the Light Pollution Map. Just Google lightpollutionmap.info, and it will show you where the dark areas are and where the light polluted areas are.
And EarthSky also has a crowdsourced page called Best Places to Stargaze, where people in our community have come and recommended their favorite dark sky locations for stargazing. So if you come to the earthsky.org website, you will see that link on our top menu bar on every page. It just says stargazing.
That's a wonderful
Come
resource.
on over. It is. Yeah. And it's crowdsourced, so it's kind of cool.
The best.
Yes. Okay. So that was number one, go out in the country. Number two,
stand in a moon shadow, just like the old song. And what you're doing there is basically keeping the moon at your back. You want to keep it at your back so that you don't dazzle your vision. If you face the moon looking at meteors, you can imagine that your eyes will never adapt to whatever darkness there is. So put the moon at your back. Doesn't matter what direction you're looking at the Perseids, because they will stream all over the sky. They come from one point, though, in the constellation of Perseus. So yes, just moon at your back. That will give you your best views.
Should we look at the radiant point? We've got a couple of. We have this image of the radiant point showing the constellation Perseus. The constellation Cassiopeia is right next to Perseus, and it looks like that number 3 or that W or M shape. And a lot of people know Cassiopeia for that reason. So if you wanted to say to yourself that the radiant point is near Cassiopeia, hey, that's good enough.
Yeah, I always cheat. Don't tell anybody, but I always tell people, just if you could draw the path back to the W in Cassiopeia, you net yourself a Perseid. So it's always good, but it's actually correct right below the W.
Yeah, but technically the meteors do radiate from the constellation Perseus, the hero. And so that's why they're called the Perseids.
Exactly.
Yes, but we have another radiant point chart. This one. Tell us about this, Bob.
This is from the software Stellarium, which is available for laptops and phones. And there you see the radiant in Perseus and the meteors spitting out there, kind of diverging across the sky. And in this view, you can see the waning gibbous moon. And notice that the moon, although we don't like it that night, it will direct us to the planet Saturn. So just to the right of the moon, you'll see a star, and that'll be the planet Saturn.
Yes. So do you guys all see that? It's right on the bottom right there. There's a little bitty waning moon. Doesn't look very bright on this chart. With Saturn right next to it. So this chart is set for what? It's set for 11 p.m. local time. So that's your time, no matter wherever you are in the U.S. or similar latitudes.
And you can go out earlier, as we'll discuss in a moment, but this is set for 11 because it brings the moon into view. At 10 o'clock, the moon, right around 10, it'll be rising, so you'll see that glow in the trees. But by 11, the moon will be up, along with Saturn. Yeah.
And when my kids were little, we used to camp during the Perseids. And I remember so many times the kids would be in their sleeping bags and they'd be, they usually didn't stay up until 11 p.m. And so they'd be like waiting for that radiant point to come up and for those meteors to start flying. And that was always exciting to wait for.
What a wonderful memory. And I mean, for adults listening who have children, bring your kids out for this too, especially the early part of the shower before they go to bed. Get them out at 9:30, 10 o'clock, get out in some lounging chairs and just look up. Share the shower.
Yeah. And you can get them up before dawn too, but my experience with little kids is they're not nearly as cheerful before dawn.
How true. I know. I remember getting one of my daughters up. I wrapped her in a blanket and took her outside. This is for the Northern Lights. It was like 3 a.m. And after she kind of got roused, she finally, it was a good memory for her though.
That's good. Yeah. We've got a question. How to tell which shooting star or meteor did we see from which meteor shower? That's a good question. You want to answer that, Bob?
Oh, sure. We touched on it a little bit. If you can draw the path of that meteor backwards, all right, just take it and put it in reverse. And if it points towards the northeastern sky, towards the W of Cassiopeia, down where Perseus is, then you have got a Perseid meteor. If it points somewhere else, it's either a random meteor or it's a member of another minor shower. And there are several minor showers, Debbie, out right now, like the Southern Delta Aquariids, the Kappa Cygnids. There's lots happening this time of year, but primarily Perseids, and it'll point back to the northeast.
And EarthSky's Dave Adalian was here yesterday talking with an astronomer from Lowell Observatory in Flagstaff who studies some of those. Well, he studies meteors in general. He's a planetary astronomer and he studies asteroids and that sort of thing too. But he's very versed on all the minor meteor showers. So if anybody's interested in those minor showers that are going on now, look at EarthSky's YouTube channel at our live stream, and you'll see that. It's called August's Other Meteor Showers. Okay, so let's go. Reasons. That was stand in a moon shadow. Yeah, and if you're out there observing, and as Bob said, turn your back to the moon, or stand in the shadow of a barn, or get into the shadow of a mountain or a grove of trees or something like that, you'll see more meteors than if you're just standing out there under the very, very, very bright moonlight. Reason number 3.
Tip number 3.
Get comfortable. Yeah.
Well, that's the best part about meteor showers is just getting comfortable. And for some people, it just means just being out on the lawn or something, with a blanket so you don't get chilled overnight. For me and for a lot of others, I get into just a basic lounge chair. I crack it back about 2/3 and face away from the moon, or have the moon covered, and look up at the night sky. I usually bring a wool blanket with me to pull up, just to stay toasty. Where I live, it tends to get chilly at night. And just kind of kick back. You might need bug repellent or something to drink during the night. Bring snacks, but stay a while. That's the key. You might go out and spend 10 minutes and see zip. I say to folks watching a meteor shower, 0 expectations. Just go out there thinking, is this really going to happen? And you will be surprised when it does. And go with the flow that nature provides. If it's slow, great. Sometimes it picks up. You'll see meteors at the same time, 2 or 3 at the same time. So I usually suggest to spend 1 hour minimum with the shower to guarantee that you'll see a few.
Right. And the rate for this shower is something like, because astronomers talk about the zenithal hourly rate. So
Right.
that's when the radiant is high in the sky and as many meteors as possible are falling all around you in the sky.
No moon.
And no moon. And the rate for this shower is probably about 60 or 80 meteors an hour. It's kind of changed over the years, but it's, at least 60, say. But you won't see that many this year because of the moon.
Yep, you might probably fewer than half, maybe a quarter. It varies depending upon your location and what time you're out viewing.
That's right. Okay, but we have more tips for you. Tip number 4, gaze alertly, look carefully.
Well, I love this one. You've got the time now. If you go out and spend an hour or more, you've got time to just sort of look around, see other things, be alert to what's happening in the sky. And then when the meteors come by, they're interesting things to watch for with the Perseids. For one, color. A friend of mine who also kind of heads up the International Meteor Organization thinks that meteors have more pronounced colors when the moon is out. He has noticed more purples, for instance, in meteors in the Perseids when there's a bright moon compared to when there's no moon. Take a look. Maybe you'll see more color. Colors.
That's interesting because I would have thought it would be the opposite, that you'd see fewer colors. So that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what might be the cause. He's still exploring this, but I would suggest to just armchair observers out there just to keep an eye for colors. The other thing that can happen is watch the trails. Some trails will be very swift. You know how they are, Debbie. They come in, they zip, they disappear in a second. Those are called trains, the trails that meteors make. Some trains last for multiple seconds, so they fade out slowly. And then some can sometimes last for minutes. And then there's always the possibility that you're going to see a fireball meteor, one of the really bright ones that's equal to Venus or brighter. And some of those fireballs will sort of explode at the end and send off little sparks. So you never quite know what you're going to get. So it's really good to just keep an eye and be observant for some of these things.
And that brings us to tip number 5.
There we are. We've got fireballs, which I just mentioned before. These are larger and brighter meteors than normal. They're caused by larger particles entering the atmosphere. There are also something called Earth Grazers, and an Earth Grazer is a meteor, and they're often quite bright. They leave very long trails across sometimes half of the sky or more. And what we're having here is a meteor that's coming in at a grazing angle, kind of like you skip a stone across the lake and it skitters on the water. You've got a Perseid coming in at a grazing angle to the atmosphere so that it's sort of heating up and lighting up for a long, long distance before it finally goes out. And they call those Earth Grazers. Best time to see them? Early on, when it's still twilight, from around 9:30 to 10 o'clock, right before and during the moonrise time. Sure to have a wide open view because Earth Grazers tend to be closer to the horizon. If you see one, though, like this one I photographed here, it just makes your jaw drop because they just never go out. It just goes and goes and goes.
Yeah, so like this is an Earth Grazer that we're looking at here,
Yes.
you guys. The green streak there. That's a long, long meteor.
And I only caught part of it. It goes way out of the frame too. So this
And the moon won't bother these at all. Like you'll see these despite the moon.
And they tend to happen even before or right at moonrise. So we're in good shape.
Yeah. Okay. So where are we? Let's see. That was reason number 5. Oh, we're on reason number 6.
One of the best things about it, of course, is just being outside, right? You get to, especially if you go to the country, you're going to be treated to all kinds of interesting sounds during the night. One of my favorites this time of year are the katydids that are out. And of course, the crickets. Don't let them lull you to sleep, though. And you'll hear other things too. There are night birds. One of my favorite night birds. They sing all night long. They're called sedge wrens, and there are other types of birds that sing at night. And then sometimes you get deer snorting or wolves or coyotes howling. I mean, you're just out there in nature, and that's just part of the experience. It makes it that much more enjoyable.
I love the way it smells at night when you're out stargazing. And just the smell of the night air, to me, is beautiful.
I'm glad you mentioned that because the olfactory scent, that is really important, especially this time of year. There's still some flowers that are all around, and they perfume the air, especially at night when the humidity goes up a bit. That's a whole other dimension. Wonderful.
So even if you only see a count that's diminished by half or even by 75%, even if you only see, say, 10 meteors an hour, you've got all that other stuff to be just amazed by and enriched by. It'll just enrich your soul. So we hope you guys will go out starting this weekend. Again, the peak mornings of the Perseid shower are the mornings of August 11th, 12th, and 13th. There will be a bright moon in the sky, but hey, it'll be worthwhile. It's always worthwhile to get out and stargaze. Yes.
Always worthwhile.
Okay. So Bob, thank you for being here with us today. Let's see, I got to get myself back to the right place here. Boom. There we are.
All right, great. Thanks thank you very much for having me, Debbie.
You're welcome. We are EarthSky. I've been here with Bob King. Bob, where can people find you?
You can find me in Sky and Telescope magazine or just on Facebook as AstroBob.
Great. We're here live every weekday. at midday in North America. And tomorrow I'll be back talking with an astronomer, Dr. Anthony Taylor, who has just used the Webb Space Telescope to confirm the earliest known black hole. I hope you'll join me then. One Earth, one sky, EarthSky.